With a news update on WHTC Holland's Cool FM, I'm Gary Stevens. What was not part of the agenda during yesterday's Ottawa County Board of Commissioners meeting may have been the most notable aspect of the business session. During the two public comment periods, a number of persons brought up the Ottawa County Sheriff's Office use of flock license plate reader cameras, which has been in place for the past couple of years. The issue of privacy concerns has grown as part of the ongoing national debate over the use of the surveillance tool, and in response to public comment, Commissioner Joe Moss of Hudsonville proposed that the matter should be considered further at a future dedicated workshop session.
License plate readers have been used for years. The greater concerns really are coming from the real-time data usage and AI integration of what the images that are coming out of the flock system. And I thought the people who gave public comment did a great job explaining it.
Chairman Josh Bruger of Grand Haven suggested such a session would be in late September or early October. A 19-year-old Holland man is free on $5,000 bond following an arrest for allegedly vandalizing a flock safety camera that was being utilized by the Ottawa County Sheriff's Office. Jared Allen Folkert was arraigned last Friday in 58 District Court on account of malicious destruction of police property. It stems from the incident which occurred on July 29th at an undisclosed location on Holland's north side, in which the unit sustained damage of between $1,500 and $2,000. The county prosecuting attorney's office authorized charges against Folkert a couple of days prior to the arraignment. Now, the matter came to light following a statement by Sheriff Eric DeBoer earlier yesterday in which he defended his office's use of these surveillance units and decried acts of vandalism by those opposed to such use. Now, the statement was in response to the public comment on the matter during the monthly County Board of Commissioners meeting. DeBoer addressed this issue earlier in an appearance on WHTC's Talk of the Town last month.
These conspiracy things start, and then anecdotally there's some police officer somewhere, because there's hundreds of thousands of us, that misuses it, and then that becomes the story, and it's just an anecdote. It's one bad apple, and the fact that it's being actually publicized means that it was caught and it was dealt with, but that becomes then the story. We're not using it to track you. If you're innocent, we're just going back and developing leads.
The Sheriff's Office is investigating this and other such cases in the county, asking those who have more information to contact detectives or Ottawa County Silent Observer. Grand Rapids officials are also looking into the city's use of flock safety cameras.
City's police department and flock safety officials made presentations yesterday to the Grand Rapids Public Safety Committee. GRPD says U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement has no access to the information from the camera system. Deputy Police Chief Michael Maycroft says the search technique has been disabled after one search by a federal agent was done. The contract between Grand Rapids and Flock Safety expires at the end of next year. It's not clear if the city will continue their use or not. I'm Michael Arning.
On another police-related issue, the issue of scammers impersonating law enforcement officers in order to obtain money or personal information is once again spotlighted by a Lakeshore entity. Yesterday, the Allegan County Sheriff's Office posted on social media that members of the public have received phone calls from a listed county government number. A person claiming to be Under Sheriff Mike Larson attempted to obtain money from the target. It's a criminal scheme that other law enforcement agencies nationwide have had to deal with over the years. Now, in the posting, the Sheriff's Office said that it would not place any such call for money, gift cards, or Bitcoin. Anyone receiving such a scam call would best be served by just hanging up. But a follow-up call to law enforcement relaying the courses of events for further investigation is welcome. No suspects have been identified or arrested. The matter remains under investigation. Yesterday's death of famed entertainer Dolly Parton shines a light on an aspect of her legacy that lives on along the lakeshore. Parton was one of the defining voices in country music, succumbed at the age of 80 after a brief battle with cancer. She was known for her singing, her acting, and her philanthropy, including the institution of the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, which supplies books free of charge to children from birth through age 5. This 31-year-long initiative is funded through her foundation and local community partners in the U.S., Canada, the U.K., Ireland, and Australia. One of those partners is the Allegan County Community Foundation, and Lauren Hunt Vanderplug is the foundation's Community Impact Manager.
It's really to create that love of reading and develop those early literacy skills. In Michigan, reading proficiency by third grade is, I think, sitting around 50%. And so we feel that this program is incredibly important for our youngest residents. So we are very passionate about keeping this program alive in Allegan County.
Earlier this month, a retired educator in the Tri-Cities restarted an effort to bring the Dolly Parton Imagination Library to the Grand Haven Spring Lake Ferrisburg area, looking to raise around $30,000 in order to establish a program for a 5-year period. However, Janet Hasselbring is working with Kent County Early Bird Books on this initiative. Tributes and honors are pouring in following yesterday's death of Dolly Parton.
Governor Gretchen Whitmer ordering all U.S. and Michigan flags lowered to half-staff starting last evening. Whitmer says Parton represents the best of America's values, and her empathy, grit, and spirit define what a star can be in this country. Flags will be raised back to full staff at sunset on Tuesday, September 1st. I'm Michael Arning.
Now, the corn maze at Robinette's Apple House and Winery this fall will benefit the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. The maze design was announced last week with a portrait of the late country music icon, an acoustic guitar, a butterfly, and the name of Dolly. The farm is among 20 around the U.S. in partnership with the library this year. Robinette's officials saddened to learn of his death, but were so glad they were able to honor her legacy. State Attorney General Dana Nessel has released a report on the Flint water crisis and why nobody has been convicted of any crimes in that matter.
The report describes a failure in government oversight, public health response, communication, and accountability when state-appointed emergency manager Darnell Early switched the drinking water supply to the Flint River in April 2014 from the Detroit Water and Sewerage Department. The water from the river wasn't treated for corrosion. Thousands of people used lead-poisoned water that caused a deadly outbreak of Legionnaire's disease, claiming at least 12 lives.
The Flint water crisis was a man-made tragedy, an environmental disaster of historic and epic proportions, leaving in its wake countless health implications that still persist.
Nessel partly blames the failed prosecution of officials on the Michigan Supreme Court, which ruled a one-judge grand jury cannot issue indictments. I'm Michael Arning.
State lawmakers are being asked by Governor Whitmer to send her new versions of 9 bills that had passed late in 2024. She vetoed them in July for concerns that signing them after over 2 years of delays would have ignited endless litigation. She stresses the issues the bills were addressing, such as educator and public employee health care, expanded retirement benefits for public safety employees, and others, address real issues faced by Michiganders. Republican House Speaker Matt Hall refused to send the bills to her office when the GOP took over the majority until he was ordered to do so by a court because majority Democrats in the Senate sued and won the case. The bills had been held up by former House Speaker Joe Tate, a Democrat, hoping to be able to have them passed by the Republican majority in the state House, which would then be used against Republicans in the 2026 elections. A 2-run homer by Max Clark in the 5th inning put Detroit ahead to stay as the Tigers topped the visiting Tampa Bay Rays last night 4-1.
Clark gets a fly ball to right field. Deep, going back to Luca, looking up, gone! Max Clark, number 2. He got a sweeper, and he did not miss.
The series at Comerica Park concludes this afternoon with coverage from Dan Dickerson and Bobby Scales at 12:45 p.m. on WHTC Holland's Cool FM. Ryan Waldschmidt's 2-run homer in the bottom of the 9th inning enabled Torey Lovello's Arizona Diamondbacks to topple the visiting Chicago Cubs last night 5-4.
Started to show up with some quality at-bats and scratch out a couple of runs. And, you put yourself in a position to stand there to walk the game off, and the right guy in the right situation came up.
The series at Chase Field in Phoenix concludes this afternoon. 2-run hits by Tristan Peters and Brenton Doyle capped a 6-run Chicago first inning. And the White Sox went on to outscore the visiting Texas Rangers last night 11-7. The series at Wright Field concludes this evening. Cade Crossland and 3 Peoria relievers teamed on a 2-hit, 12-strikeout shutout as the visiting Chiefs collared the West Michigan Whitecaps last night 2-0. The series at LMCU Ballpark in Comstock Park continues this evening. Get the latest news anytime at WHTC.com.